Hi guys, this was a deeply frustrating interview that Keir Starmer gave to Beth Rigby of Sky News. So he was asked about promises he made in the past, but has U-turned on. Now, Labour's narrative has been that the situation has changed and the economy they will inherit will be a disaster. This is understandable following years of austerity, then Brexit and then Liz Truss. Public finances are in tatters. A future government will either have to borrow, cut services even more or raise taxes. Starmer dodged the last.
You said in that speech it's disrespectful for Sunak to say the economy turned the corner when taxes are higher. But isn't it also disrespectful when you promise people, for example, to raise income tax for the top 5% of earners, and then you ditch that when you get nearer to power? Now, there might be good reasons for that, but doesn't acknowledging that you have broken some of the promises you made go some way to fixing these trust issues that you have?
I think it's
You've
really
just totally avoided that.
Let me take that head on, because there are a number of pledges I made when I was running for Labour leadership. Most of those are still in place. They're the building blocks of what we've now put in place. Some of them have changed. And this is an issue that's important, because the reason they've changed is because we can't afford to do them anymore. I said that we should abolish tuition fees. We can't, now the damage has been done to the economy, particularly by Liz Truss.
You could raise taxes.
It is not possible to do that.
You could raise taxes on the top 5%, and you said I don't really want to get into the policies. What I want you to acknowledge is that part of the trust issue is also about things you said as Labour leader.
I totally disagree with you, and I'll tell you for why. I think it's more important to stand in front of the electorate and say, I'm sorry, I can't now afford what I said before because of the damage that's been done to the economy.
Why can't you afford to raise taxes for the top 5% of earners?
Not to simply stick with something which you know you can't afford.
Well, you can afford to raise taxes on higher earners, can't you?
What I'm saying to the electorate is this. I'm going to tell you in advance of the election what I don't think we can afford to do. I'm not going to tell you that you can have everything and then break a promise after the election. I'm going to level with you now. There are some things that we now can't afford because of the damage done to the economy. I think that is basic honesty with the electorate.
No, it's not. It's dishonesty. Now, why is it dishonesty? Because you're saying we can't afford X, Y, and Z. When in reality, yes, you could afford X, Y, and Z if you increase taxes on people above 5%. The top 5% of earners. Now, if you say, look, the top 5% are people on £80,000 a year, they have had taken, whether you agree with this or not, but they have taken more of the burden under the Conservatives. You could change that to the top 3% or the top 1%. The top 1%, the richest in society, they need to be taxed more to fund these things like tuition, ending tuition fees and stuff like that. It's being dishonest by saying, no, we can't afford it. Now, I think what we're seeing with this campaign, and I think we're going to see it with the Labour Party, perhaps in government, is that Keir Starmer is more of a figurehead. The real operation is going to take place in the Treasury. It's going to be Rachel Reeves. She's going to be deciding policy, it seems. She's going to decide which departments get money and how much money they get. Because Starmer, it seems, is the change character, is the change candidate, the change figure. Notice he's not responding to these questions about, okay, well, how much tax should be charged? Who's going to pay it? He's not engaging with these questions. He's there to represent, we're not the Conservatives anymore. That's the narrative that he's there to represent. He's not there to answer questions, economic questions or policy questions. It's really just, I'm not the Conservatives. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you we can't afford X, Y, and Z. Why we can't afford it? Well, that's not my field. That's Rachel Reeves. So you'll have to speak to her about that. This has been dishonest because you know that if you increase taxes, you can afford these things. It may be not to the same extent as before, but that would involve you engaging. But he's not there to engage. He's there to present himself as the change candidate. It's dishonest. Now, will it make any difference? No. The Labour Party will win a significant majority unless something happens. And he will be Prime Minister. But as Prime Minister, is he in charge or is Rachel Reeves in charge? As I said before, whoever controls the money to departments will decide policy outcomes. They will decide whether universities get enough money, the NHS get enough money, or how these different departments operate. But it's dishonest. I'm sorry to say, it's dishonest to say we can't afford it. You can if you increase taxes on the richest in society. You can if you borrow more. But Rachel Reeves doesn't want to go down that road, it seems. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.